most honorable of honorables. On Macca's. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Do we want to eat HonMonO? Do we want him inside us? Oh. Ay, ay, ay. As here we go spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan. We have his opponents. We have the German Protoss player representing Berserker Esports, the ace player of Berserker Esports. He's been on fire recently. It is Spatz. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, we have his opponent. We have the most honorable of honorables. We have the South Korean Terran player residing in the land of Japan, representing K10 Esports. It is HonMonO. Oh, and this is gonna be a juicy series because I know we love HonMonO. I love HonMonO, but Spatz has been really in form recently. He was, of course, our European Ascension League champion a couple of months ago. As soon as he won that tournament, Berserker Esports picked him up. They snatched him up. They were like, yo, this guy's on fire. This guy's crazy. Spatz took down a lot of European players to become the Ascension League champion. And from then, Spatz, he's been popping off. He's been getting some really good results in OSC King of the Hill. He's been getting good results in online tournaments. And he is the star player, or I feel like the ace player of Berserker Esports in WTL as well. Ooh. So he has been on the rise, looking to be a pretty solid European Protoss. So this is not going to be too clear-cut here. You know, two regions are colliding. We don't really get to see HonMonO against Europeans too often. And I have to wonder if Spatz is familiar with his opponent. Because again, HonMonO has a certain playstyle. He has a very particular playstyle. Again, very cheesy, very aggressive, especially in PvT. He's a little more macro-oriented in TvT and TvZ, but against Protoss, like he likes to be dirty. For the time being, though, everything is going to be back at home. Spatz does confirm that with a probe scout. Does spot the racks, does spot the CC, or does confirm at least the racks expand. So again, a more economic opener here from HonMonO. And I love that Spatz was even scouting down here. He was scouting the southern portion of the map just in case, That's just making sure he's safe and sound. Behind this, we're following this up with a sentry. With the sentry, we're going to be able to go for a hallucinated scout and see everything. Meanwhile, 2 Terrans in a row. HonMonO. Okay, he's going for a 3-rack setup behind this. Not quite a 3-racks opening, as we saw from Percival on Lightshade. Oh, sorry, in game 1 even. So not quite a 3-racks opener, but it is going to be that 1-1 into 2 more racks. Meanwhile, across the map, interesting. We have a Forge first. Oh my. We have a Forge Robo opener here. Not even Forge Twilight Council. Okay. Alright. With this, we can go into a very fast +1. Is this going to be for +1 charge lots? I would assume so, but if it was, then I would assume that we would get a a Forged Twilight Council opener, just like what Ashbringer did, if you recall, in the previous series. So, interesting stuff here, as we do have the hallucination dipping on in, and the hallucination will be able to confirm the additional Raxes and the factory as well. Again, this is looking like there's not too much longevity for HonMonO's army. He's just going to be pumping out as many Marines as tanks as possible. Oh, but we do have an NG Bay being thrown down. Meanwhile, as we work on +1, we're actually going straight into a Robotics Bay. Oh my god. This is crazy. So Spatz has very little map presence. He doesn't have, like, a Stargate opener would give you Oracles and Phoenixes for map control. A Blink Stalker opener, a Twilight Council Blink, would give you Stalkers to be active on the map to maybe threaten a Blink into the main, shut down any drop play. this is like hyper defensive, where we're pumping out immortals for safety just so we have some units because we literally don't have anything else. We're working off of one gateway, by the way. Like, we have this is our army. 3 units here for Spatz. But even though we only have 3 units, like, now that the Bay is done, we're getting to a very fast Colossus. Well, meanwhile, an unfortunate scan, the Observer does survive. But again, with this, like, this feels, yeah, really defensive, but also greedy in a way as well, tech-wise. As finally we're getting into a couple more gateways. There's our Twilight Council as well. Cutting a lot of corners here to get into fast Colossus. As we see a scan, and HonMonO now sees that Extended Thermal Lance is on the way. Now, upon seeing this, what will yeah, it's okay. We just pulled the voice. So what's crazy about this is we're getting mixed signals. I assumed this was for a 2-base all-in. This looks like a 2-base all-in setup, but the +1 threw me off because +1 just started. But we didn't care about +1. We're going for the all-in anyway. We saw the opener. We see that, mate, we're cutting corners. There's 1 Colossus, 3 sentries, an Immortal, and a Stalker. Let's end it, Papi. This is going to be scattered. We see 5 shield batteries on the way. HonMonO needs to try not just to break the 3rd base, but break into the natural. Oh, but he's going to be slow pushing. The tanks are slowly going to be sieging up upon this 3rd, and sure, we can maybe force a cancel here, but we need more than that. As the Colossus count is getting higher and higher, and oh boy, we even have disruptors on the way. There's the cancel on the 3rd. Tanks are moving on forward. We see a scan, and we see the defensive setup. We see the force of shield batteries, and we're like, nah, mate, we're done. We're raced back home. I respect it. Understandable. Very understandable. You can't break this. What are you gonna do? So HonMonO is just gonna pack up, go back home like nothing happened, and yeah, start a 3rd CC. All right, let's go. We have a game. 3rd CC is on the way. +1 is actually going to kick in. We're going to be throwing down some starports, some additional production as well. Double starport production. Oh my god. Double starport production to go into, I imagine, I guess, Viking production, or to catch up in Vikings. Oh boy, as we actually canceled the disruptor. I was a little bit concerned because I didn't see it, but looks like we canceled the disruptor. We went into a 3rd Colossi instead. Ooh, and yeah, we're just gonna be chilling. There we go. Oh my god, 4 Vikings at a time. Double reactored starports. Jesus. We really want to catch up. HonMonO taking the Colossus threat very seriously. There we go, the Vikings are underway. And this is going to be an interesting one. This is definitely going to be interesting. Oh my god. We scan, we confirm the army, we get eyes on the 3rd base as well, that it is being retaken. Meanwhile, Spatz, he has other plans. This is without Prism speed. Bear that in mind. So this is a risky move. This is very risky because, mate, we have Vikings. We have Viking production right now, and we're going for a Colossus drop? The ball's on Spatz. I don't know if I like it. Like, Spatz, he even saw the double starport with double reactor as well. Here we go. The Colossus does go into the main base and is going to be getting quite a number of SCVs. Meanwhile, the Vikings are going to respond, and we have to recall out. Oof. Okay. That was risky, but I guess worth it. We kill 3 SCVs, and we only take some shield damage. Not bad, not bad. Very cheeky move. Could have been disastrous for Spatz. Could have really been disastrous, especially if HonMonO was like patrolling here in the dead space. Thankfully, the Vikings weren't in position, and Spatz got away with it. As we see him taking a 4th base behind this, we have double immortal production as well. Ooh. Here we go. As we are just pumping out so many marauders. Aye, aye, aye. And we have ourselves a Hon macro game. Let's go. Obviously, initially, HonMonO didn't want this to be a macro game, but he was kind of forced into it because of the Colossus count. So we're just going to be turtling up back at home. We've got our towers, our turrets, our siege line. Ghosts are on the way. We have a Ghost Academy as well. But this is a pretty hefty army coming out from Spatz. Triple Colossus, quadruple Immortal. Oof. Oh boy. Thankfully, we do have some Marauders, thankfully. The help buffer. We go for the scan. We do see the army. We know, Bobby, we know. And Spatz, he has to be very careful. I don't think we want to push into this. At the same time, though, he's distracting the army. We have a massive warp into the main base. Oh, HonMonO is being pulled apart right now. If he does leave his tanks exposed, then of course the Colossi can jump in. We have DTs and Zealots in the main base. The entire middle line is going to be going down. At the same time, Spatz still hasn't pulled the trigger. And he doesn't. He sees that HonMonO is in position. He will back off. He's content with killing a mineral line, which is not too bad. Oof. A lot of damage being done already. See Spatz rotating around, looking for another way in. Oh, the Prism. The Prism does slip into the main base. Does reveal that the Vikings are in the main. The Vikings are not here to deal with the Colossi. And here we go. We're powering on through. The first two tanks are going to be going down immediately. Oh god, we need the Vikings here and now, but they're across the map, or they're back home instead. The boys are being pulled into Colossi, and all the SCVs are going to be going down. Where are the Vikings, though? The Vikings are finally coming in, but alas, HonMonO was pulled apart. The Prism was a great distraction. We have a recall as well. Oof. And alas, with all the Marines gone, we can just come in with charge lots, with Archons as well, with Disruptors. We don't need Colossi, not anymore. Oof. And yeah, Spatz was able to just pull his opponent apart, come in with a really interesting opener, and GG gets called. Spatz takes game number 1. Oof. GG. Again, the opener was wild, going for a Forge Robo opener into such a fast Colossi as well. So greedy. So greedy, but was able to get away with it. And with that, Spatz takes a lead in the series, but HonMonO, he isn't out of it yet. We do have game number 2 before us, and we're not going to be going into an older map. We're going to be going into a current map in the map pool. It is going to be Royal Blood. HH Quanta? Oh my god, I would love to cast. I love Quanta as well. I love all the Terran boys. The Korean Terrans. Unfortunately, Quanta is already in the lower bracket. He is a part of the tournament, but we won't be able to cast him tonight, unfortunately. He fell to Eba the other day. Eba. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the German Protoss player representing Berserker Esports, currently leading the series 1-0. It is Spatz. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing K10 Esports and the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. Spatz showing off a really interesting opener in game number 1. Was wild, to be honest. But able to get away with it in the end, getting into really fast Colossi. He did end up losing his third base, but it was cancelled, it wasn't killed, so he was more than happy to kind of give up that location and defend on 2 bases. HonMonO unfortunately was going for a 2-base all-in, but happened to be going up against fast Colossi, and fast Colossi just completely shut down any kind of 3-racks play. It's not pretty, Bobby, it's not pretty. Yo, and Spatz, the tables have been turned. Game 1, he got away with greed. Game 2, is he going for a ninja? No way! No shot, right? It's just a proxy, right? Yeah. Oh, the longer this goes on, the less certain I am. He's going for a ninja. No way. Oh my god, Spatz. The disrespect. Oh, HonMonO. Oh my god, Spatz banking up those resources, and okay. We're going for a Stargate. He was getting close to 400 minerals, and I was like, mate, no way he takes the Nexus. He's teasing us, he's throwing down the Stargate. We're all good. We're all good. Ay. So a little bit further back than is normal, your more typical proxy Stargate location is here, but this is maybe too much of an obvious position, so it's gonna pull it further back instead. Oh, no, but he does take the ninja base anyway. Oh my god, yep, it was for the ninja. I did notice that the Stargate was suspiciously off-center to allow room for a Nexus, and yeah, it is a ninja base. Stargate before ninja, but a ninja nonetheless. Spatz, you're an animal. Ay. Zealot did rush across the map as well. We do see HonMonO didn't quite go for too much of a scout, wasn't able to get into the main base. HonMonO is in the dark, he has no idea what's going on behind this. He is going for, or I believe he went for a double gas opener, or we already have a cyclone on the way. And we're getting into a bit of a 2-1-1 setup. Oh, let's go. Meanwhile, the Reaper does scout along the edge of the map, and he does come across the ninja base. HonMonO, he knows. Thank God. HonMonO has scattered the proxy starport and also the Nexus, but we deal with one problem at a time. The Cyclone has to get into position here to deal with that Oracle. Second Cyclone is on the way as well. We have our 3-rack setup as we expected on 2 bases. Oh. But as he gets ready for the Oracle, the Adepts are shading into the natural. Oh boy. Here we go. A couple of Cyclones are going to be going off. Do get lock-ons on said Adepts. Able to deal with one of them. Meanwhile, oh my god, we're clowning, Poppy. We're clowning. We have 2 Oracles. We're backing up to 3 Oracles. With this amount of Oracles, we can go in and we can focus down the Cyclones. The Cyclones are not going to be long for this world. Oh boy. The Cyclones are just chilling here at the natural base. We have at least a Viking to help protect the main. But of course, Vikings don't have the highest DPS. Or the highest attack rate, I should say. And are we going to go for Glaives? I'm feeling Glaives. I'm feeling Glaive Adepts and Oracles, not going to lie. Let's go full hero. What do we got? What do we have for us? As he's going for Spatz is going for a second ninja. At the same time he goes in with his Oracles, but the Vikings are going to be able to shoo him away. Threatening HonMonO, keeping him at home as we have a second gold base being taken. And of course, because we have so much gold, we have so much money, we're going for charge because we're going to have an insane amount of minerals. Oh my god. He's clowning, Bob. He's clowning. Here we go. Tanks are sieging up. Do get some decent shots off here on these Stalkers. Stim is not quite done. These are vanilla Marines, but they are designed to protect these Cyclones. Ooh, one Oracle going to be going down. And we don't really have too much of an army. We don't have the production. 3 gateways are on the way. Charge is still on the way, but Spatz, his army is 2 Oracles, 1 Sentry, which is about to die, and some Stalkers. And the Stalkers are out of position. We have a recall back home. We have an overcharge as well. Can Spatz hold on to his ninja base? Can he hold on to the gold? We do have the Oracles coming in from behind. They do take down both of those Cyclones, but the tanks go ham. The tanks are going crazy. And it looks like HonMonO has too much. The gold base will fall. But it's okay, because we have another. Aye. Not like this. Now, Spatz has a lot of minerals right now. The gateways have finally finished. Charge is finishing up as well. And Spatz is going to be able to go back to mining. 2 base versus 2 base, Spatz has the better economy. Straight up, he has the better economy, and he will soon have a larger army as well. HonMonO doesn't know. He probably feels like he's in a pretty good position after killing that base, but he didn't kill the probes. Again, the probes are still mining. But here we go. We're going to be pushing out. Despite that, we still have a pretty large army. We have 4 tanks. But these are vanilla Marines, so they're not going to be amazing against these elves. The boys are being pulled. HonMonO going full HonMonO, Papi. Let's go, let's go. We're pulling the boys. We're going in for a 2-base all in. The charge dots do show up, but we have so many Marines. GG gets called, and HonMonO takes game number 2. Oh my, and a wild game at that. Spatz. Trying to get away with so much. I'm shaking my head. Ay. Spatz being a little bit too greedy in the end, a little bit too cheeky. HonMonO does punish him. Was a little bit dicey there. I was very concerned for HonMonO's life. I was very scared for him. But he does take it in the end. And now we have an ace match. We have game number 3. Ay. That's exclamation mark B in the chat. Why do you yeah, I imagine maybe Spatz. I do agree that Spatz probably should have waited back at home and waited for a second warping of Zealots. But he probably didn't realize how committed HonMonO was. Probably didn't know that the boys are being pulled and how large the army was as well. So a little bit of a misstep there from our Protoss player. But here he is, our German Protoss representing Berserker Esports. The ace player of Berserker Esports. It is Spatz. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Sister, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran representing K10 Esports in the land of Japan. Tying up the series 1-1, it is HonMonO. Well, yeah, that last game, fighting in the middle of the map, was Spatz's downfall. That is what HonMonO really wanted in the end, so you could argue that maybe there's a world there where Spatz could have been able to hold if he did stay in his main, warped in another 1 or 2 rounds of Zealots, but alas, was not able to in the end. And now we have a series. Now we have an ace match. And unfortunately for Spatz, no gold bases. There are no gold bases to take. All of these are standard bases, so are we going to see a ninja base? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Oh, my apologies. Thankfully, we didn't really get to see too much. Oh, we just hold on. Ha! Spatz! Ha! HonMonO. We didn't really miss too much. It's all good. It's all good. But I do appreciate it. Thank you. If I ever do forget to switch the scenes, let me know. Do appreciate it. I try to stay on top of that, but I'll do my best. Whew. Yeah, from here we are kind of getting into the swing of things. Now, the reason why I say that it is unlikely for a ninja base, but not impossible, is because seeing Spatz ninja base on Royal Blood reminded me that we casted Spatz a couple of days ago in World Team League. We casted him last week in World Team League, and Spatz actually went for a ninja base in World Team League as well, on Ancient Cistern, on this very map. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. Rip scene switcher for OBS. I typically don't use the scene switcher for a replay cast. But yeah, we did see Spatz going for ninja bases on Ancient Cistern before, so we could try and do it again. At the same time, in a longer series like this, especially after Spatz showed that, I do think that it won't be the wisest of choices. Just because HonMonO is going to be looking out for that sort of thing. As we did go for a Zealot first, we're going to be sending our Zealot across the map, but the Reapers have stayed at home. The Zealot won't be finding too much damage, will not delay the CC. Up. There we go, Zealot is going to be going down. Meanwhile, once again, Spatz going for a very interesting opener. He's going to be going for a Robo first instead. With this, we can get into faster Immortal production. We can also rush into Colossus as well with that Robotic Spade. Before that happens, HonMonO is going to be quite aggressive. He did make a couple of Reapers and Hellions. This is designed to run past the first units and get into a mineral line. The wall is not a wall. We have 2 Stalkers here on the front lines, but the Hellions and Reapers don't give a damn about these Stalkers. They actually go toe-to-toe. They're going for the Stalkers themselves. Oh, they will get one of them, and they're going to be able to get the second. The boys are being pulled. Ooh, and it looks like Spatz is going to be able to hold. Up, up, up. Does he get the Stalker? He will just barely get the Stalker. And now we'll be able to get the... Now we can focus on the probes. 5 probes already going down. Well worth it here for HonMonO. Again, a very aggressive start, and this does kind of slow down some of the rest of his builds, but well worth it in the end. In the end, he lost 2 Hellions and a Reaper for 6 probes and 2 Stalkers. On top of that, he was also able to scout the Robo and can dip into the main and see if any other tech was thrown down. Which I think is pretty important because Spatz is once again being insanely greedy. He went Robo first, and we see why. It is for that fast robotics bait. Off of one gateway, one singular gateway, Spatz is going to try and get into Colossi production. Very greedy, very greedy. Once again, the same thing applies that we kind of talked about last time, where Spatz has very little map control. There's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Oracles, there's no Phoenixes. He's not really going to be pressuring his opponent too much because he's trying to cut corners, take up insanely quickly, and just get a really, like, robust army. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, as we do see him going into that Colossi. Meanwhile, we do see Spatz moving out on the map, going to be trying pressuring here. And I kind of love this. He went for a Prism first. This almost looks like 3 gates Robo, like, pressure, which is kind of the other option that you can go for. But here we go, Spatz, sorry, HonMonO, he doesn't care about your opener. What are we going to have to defend? We're going to have 4 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, and 1 Colossi. Meanwhile, the boys are being pulled. HonMonO is looking to end the game. This is all spotted by Spatz with that Observer. Oh, he almost gets a tank. Oh, we see a scan as well. The Observer does go down, but I believe it may have been able to catch the tail end of these workers. Oh, again, Spatz, he needs to try to fight this out on the map to try and force the siege. He needs to slow this down as best he can. Oh, but HonMonO is not slowing down. Oh, here we go. A couple of force fields are going to be able to stop him. They do force the siege, but the tanks, they get a lot of volleys off. Oh my god! They almost get the Colossi. Spatz just overextending a little bit after those force fields. Did lose his sentries. And here we go. The Colossi is barely standing. We have a second Colossi on the way. Ooh. Can HonMonO break on through? Still keeping all 3 of his tanks alive. Oh! The tanks are causing a bit of a blockage here. The Marines actually can't move forward, but it's okay. Yo, we even have a Raven. With that Raven, we can disable one of those Colossi. We have to be very careful. Spatz has to be very careful with his control. And here we go. More units being rallied across the map. We're about to have a 3rd Colossi. We gotta go. HonMonO's on a timer. Meanwhile, the Colossus is coming in from behind. Catching some of these reinforcements. The Banshees move on forward. Raven gonna be threatening as well. And in a couple of seconds, yeah, we're chronoing it out. We're gonna have 3 Colossi. Can we break this? I don't know anymore. HonMonO, he's gonna try. Oh, he's being really ambitious with that Raven. That Raven is so important as well. We need the disable, Papi. There we go. He does force the overcharge at least. And once that runs out, I believe we're just gonna go in. Here we go. The tank's still on siege. We're gonna be slowly pushing forward. Still no stim, bear that in mind. I love how HonMonO has been utilizing these workers to repair his units. He's been repairing all of his tanks, the Ravens, the Banshees, everything. The repairs are real. Once again, just topping everything up. Oh no! First Nova's going to be going off, connecting with one of those tanks, but the tanks are getting within range at the same time. Spatz once again wants to try to come in for a bit of a flank. One Nova is not enough to take down the tank, and it does get repaired up. This is so tense. I don't know. I feel like this may just be... Part of me feels like it's getting better for Spatz over time because he's getting more disruptors, but he did lose his shield battery. He has to rebuild it. Oof. Team chipping away at that army. HonMonO rallying more tanks in total. We have 7 tanks on the map. That's a lot of tanks. And here we go. He is getting ever closer to the natural. Another Nova's going to be going up, but no, we have a disable. And here we go. HonMonO is pulling that trigger. We have a disable of the Archon as well at all things, and GG gets called. There's just too much on the ground. And HonMonO takes the series 2-1. Oh, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to HonMonO as he does take the series in the end. Spatz with really cheeky PvT this entire series. Like, he was mixing things up, going for forged robo openers or fast robo bay openers, the ninja bases. He has a really fun style to watch. I do really appreciate it. And it's crazy that he's able to do that sort of stuff at this level of play. Obviously, we can see that he was kind of punished for it, but HonMonO is also very uniquely aggressive, so I do think it's a bit of a mismatch in a way, just because HonMonO is so commonly going for 2 base all-ins. Like, HonMonO and pulling the boys, like, name a better, like, a better duo, you know? Like, they come hand in hand, Bobby. They come hand in hand. So in that sense, I think it's a little bit of a mismatch, but oh boy, yeah, GG, well played. Spatz gets knocked down to the lower bracket, and HonMonO advances on forward in the tournament.